welcome to Skein Studio. My name is Kristen. This is episode number 54 and it's the 9th of June, 8th, I keep thinking it's the 9th, 8th of June, it's a Thursday. Yeah, what was I going to say? Episode number 54, you can find me on Instagram as Skein Yarn or on Ravelry as K10. It is a very grey day outside today, quite windy. Winter has certainly started, although, I mean, winter here is probably summer somewhere. It's really not that cold, but if you're in the sun, it's nice and warm, but there is a slight cold breeze outside. I just wanted to mention that you'll probably hear quite a lot of construction noise because there is a large building going up just across the road, so it is a bit noisy. Sorry about that. I have closed all of the doors and windows, so hopefully that'll filter some of the noise out. But yeah, I hope you're all been well. It's been a couple of weeks since I spoke to you. I have actually been not very well. I've had quite a lot of time off. I am much better now. But yes, it's meant that I haven't knit much, and I've been really busy because as those of you who have businesses, small businesses, you know that if you're sick, then pretty much everything stops, and not you stop, but everything else keeps going. So when you return to work, it's very busy. You've got to catch up. Luckily, I have Paul who helps, well, he's partner in the business, so he can do a lot of the work while I'm not there, but I am the dyer. He doesn't dye the yarn, so yeah. You got to have yarn for a yarn shop. So yes, it's been very busy. So that's why we decided to take today off, which is Thursday. So we're having Thursday and Friday off, and then Monday's public holiday here in New South Wales. So we've got 5 days off, which I'm so looking forward to. I don't know if I mentioned, but being sick, I haven't done a lot of knitting, but when I was writing the show notes, I have a lot to talk about, so I've been busy, even though I haven't been feeling well. I wanted to talk about the knit-alongs that we're running over on our Ravelry group, and if you haven't come over and joined, please do. There's a link in the show notes. If you want to find us on Ravelry, you just click on the group tab and search for Skein. You have to actually scroll down. I don't know why it doesn't come up at first, but yeah, just scroll down and you'll find us. We have a sweater knit along, which is a Skein knit along, so only using Skein yarn. That is going for, I think it ends the end of August, so still quite a lot of time. I have my yarns all ready to go, but I haven't cast on yet, but I'll talk about that later. But there's been a few people who have actually finished, and a few people who are currently knitting their sweater. But if you'd like to join along, if you've got some Skein yarn in your stash, please do. You can knit anything, any sort of cardigan, pullover, t-shirt, tank top, whatever. You can knit kids' sizes as well, doesn't have to be adults. So yeah, and actually a couple of weeks ago I got a lovely prize donated by made by Ganesh, who is on Etsy, and I'll just grab the bag. Sorry, it's gonna crinkle. I should have got it out of the plastic. I'm keeping it nice and new for the winter. So this is the bag that she sent, and it's lovely. It's got this sweet tree design, and it's huge. There's plenty of room for a sweater and yarn and whatever else you need. There's 2 pockets inside, which is great. And I think, yeah, there's one really large pocket, and then there's another even bigger pocket that has been divided into 3 sections. So it's really well designed. There's lots of space and lots of places to put all your notions and patterns and needles and yarn. She's also included a couple of little progress keepers. And yeah, so thank you very much, Yvonne. It's just lovely. Thank you so much. So yes, the winner will receive, one winner will receive a bag, and I'm donating a sweater's worth of yarn. Winner's choice of base and colourway. So yeah. The other knit along we have running is a sock knit along. It's a podcast knit along, so you can knit any hand-dyed yarn that you have in your stash. It must be hand-dyed yarn. And I've got quite a few prizes for this one, which is fantastic. I actually reached out to Hannah from Circus Tonic Handmade and Kelly, who is Miss Click Clack. They're both Australian dyers. And asked them if they could donate a prize, and they said of course they would. I have their yarns here, so sorry, more crinkling. Sorry. Kelly from Miss Click Clack sent worsted yarn, and it is her Milkman's Horse worsted. It's a superwash merino in the colourway Meow, which that's actually brighter than what it is. It's a kind of dusky pink. It's beautiful. And the other one, I'm pretty sure is Melbourne Black. Yes. It's beautiful. These two actually would look perfect together, but I'm going to split them up. So there's two prizes there. So thank you, Kelly, for sending those. Hannah from Circus Tonic Handmade. And of course I'll put links to both of their shops in the show notes. Go and check them out. I think Hannah at the moment has a sock club, which is up for grabs. So Hannah from Circus Tonic Handmade sent these 3 sock yarns. It's Jubilee sock, and it's a 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon, and it's super soft. It's beautiful. She's sent this one, which is called Bright Oak Blue. So you got lovely tones of blue and pink and purple, and I think there's a little bit of orange or coral. It's stunning. There's this one, which is Cairns Birdwing, which is a lovely greeny blue. And then this one, which is called Tailored Emperor. And I think it's sort of blowing out a bit there, but it's beautiful white and coral and grey, sort of speckly colour. So I just noticed with Circus Tonic Handmade, her yarns, she had put a little photocopy thing in the bottom of the package, which I've only just noticed and read. So these yarns that she has sent, which I just spoke about, is actually a part of her February sock club, which is to do with Australian butterflies. So the names of these aren't birds, they're butterflies. So she's got a little write-up about each species of butterflies, so which is really cute. It's such a good idea. And I will of course be adding the information with the yarn when I send it. And she also had sent, I'm guessing this is all a part of what comes with her club, and I think I mentioned just before that she has a club up for sale at the moment, so I'd definitely go and check it out. But she's added a little picture to go with the yarn, and which includes a picture of the butterfly. Oh, is it the butterfly? Must be. Yes, it is. And yeah, so picture of the butterfly and the yarn, and also the a little sample of it knit up into a sock. It's beautiful. I'm sorry, I just completely missed these when I opened up the packet. They were hiding down the bottom. So this, of course, is this one, which is the Tailed Emperor. And the green one, which I just showed you before, is the Cairns Birdwing. Such a good idea, it's really nicely packaged. And this one is the Bright Oak Blue, which in that sock, it just looks stunning. I wonder what sock pattern that is. It looks like Hermione's everyday sock, but it's stunning. It's hard to give these away. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that because I saw it and I thought, oh God, must tell you about it. So yeah. And I also was contacted by Jessica, who I've spoken about in the podcast many times. She is an Australian designer, and she has donated 5 patterns, so 5 winners, and they can choose any of her patterns. And she has lots of lovely patterns. So yes, thank you very much to everyone, and I hope you guys come over and join us. I don't have the details written down, I don't think. Yes, I do. So the sock knit along ends on the 19th of July, so there's plenty of time to knit whatever socks you want. So any pattern, you can choose any pattern, just has to be indie dyed yarn from anyone. There's so many lovely indie dyers out there. It's great because we've had quite a few people posting, so with lots and lots of lovely yarn, so it's very enabling. Yes, and what else was I going to say? Oh, and you can double dip, triple dip. I know there's so many sock knit-alongs going on at the moment, so yeah, feel free to enter as many times as you like, that doesn't matter. And as many socks as you like, so you can enter as many times, as long as you've finished a pair of socks within the time frame. So yeah, might as well go on from there and say I have actually been knitting socks for the knit-along, and I've finished a pair. This is my vanilla sock yarn, just my basic pattern that I always knit vanilla socks from, and here we are. I should have put these on sock blockers. The yarn is Nomadic Yarns, and the colourway is Molly Weasley, and of course it's self-striping, it's beautiful. I put in contrasting heels and toes, and I had a skein left over of our mini skein top drawer sock, which is our mini skein base, and in the candy colourway, which is bright pink, and I thought it suited these socks perfectly. So they're done. I really enjoyed it. I loved using her yarn. This is her Twisty sock base, and no, Twisty Sport. Yeah, Twisty Sport base. And even though it is named Sport, it's like a thicker sock. It's not, I wouldn't say it's sport weight. I guess it's in between a kind of a sport. It's a heavy fingering, let's put it that way. And it's beautiful to knit. It's soft. It's lovely, knits up perfectly. And of course her colours are stunning. I will be buying more from her and making more socks. Yeah, so that was really fun. I knit these quite quickly too. I think I cast on just after last podcast, so it's been a couple of weeks. And I've been sick in between, so if I wasn't sick, these would have been done a lot sooner. So that's my only finished object for this week. I have a couple of whips that I've been working on. I won't go through all of my whips because I have quite a few. But I'll show you the ones that I've actually done some work on. I've been knitting on my diary cardigan by Anka Strick, and this is the one that I'm knitting for my mother-in-law. That is it there. And last time I spoke to you, I hadn't finished the body, but in the meantime I have. So all of the body and the main part of the cardigan is now done. That's it there. So now I've just picked up the stitches for the sleeve, and pretty much that's all I need to do, is just do the sleeves. I think I mentioned last week they are visiting us in July, or is it the end of June? Ooh, it could be the end of June. I can't remember when I said. Anyway, I need to get it finished. But yeah, sleeves won't take me long. So I really enjoyed knitting this. Yeah, I can't wait to see it when it's all finished and blocked out. And I've said it before and I'll say it again, I wouldn't actually mind making one myself. It's really nicely designed, nicely fitted, it just sits perfectly, and it's like I've said before, it's like a coat. Sort of, well, for our weather anyway, it's more like a coat. Yeah, really liked it. So that's Diary by Anka Strick. The second thing I cast on last night, after I finished my Molly Weasley socks, I cast on another pair of socks for the knit along. This is it here. I haven't obviously gotten that far, but this is using our MCN sock base, and the colorway is Scribbly Gum, and this is one of our variegated yarns, which I've said again in the past. The way that we dye our variegated yarns is random dyed, so they don't knit up with pooling or striping. They knit up so that it's sort of randomly not speckles but splashes of colour, and I'm really enjoying it. I had obviously, like, there's been this big fad for speckle dyed yarns, and they are very fun to dye up and knit, of course. But I'm sort of starting to go back to variegated. I've knit so much with speckle dyed yarns that I kind of want a bit of a break, and I don't want to go into semi-solids because well, they're great for cardigans and things, but for socks and shawls I like something with a little bit of colour. So yeah, I've sort of gravitated back to variegated yarn for a while. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it. And again, this is just the vanilla sock pattern that I have up for free on Ravelry, and it's just the basic sock pattern that I do for all my socks pretty much. Yeah, that is that. I do have plans to cast on a couple of things. I've skeined up, oh, what was in there? Oh yeah. I've skeined up my yarn for the skein knit along, the sweater knit along. This is Travel Light by Suvi Samola. Of course, I've mentioned this like a million times in the past. I haven't actually got onto casting it on yet, but that's what I'm going to knit. But I have finally skeined the yarns up in the navy and dandelion. So this will be the main colour, which is what the sleeves are, and then of course I'm going to stripe it with the dandelion, and I hopefully will get on and cast that on in the next day or so. I have this in a bag that was sent to me by the lovely Ganesh, made by Ganesh, Yvonne. And she sent me a bag along with the prize for the sweater knit along, and this is it here. It's gorgeous. I posted about this on Instagram and she calls it the Happy Rainbow bag, and it's so lovely. When I opened up, because I knew she was sending me prizes, and when I opened up the bags, I looked at this and I was like, oh my god, that is so lovely. And then when I read her note, it said that she made this one for me, so I was so happy. It just reminds me, is it My Little Pony that had the rainbow? It just reminds me of something in my childhood. I can't quite pinpoint it, and I haven't googled it. I should look it up. So the next thing I wanted to cast on was a shawl by Andrea Mowry called Marley, and I saw Molly from a Homespun House knitting this, and I loved it as soon as I saw it. So it's using brioche. I'll put obviously a picture in so you can see what I'm talking about if you don't know. It's a brioche stitch shawl, which is triangle shaped. And where did I put my yarn for this? Oh, you should see. I think I've already posted. I think I've already put up a little video of the table while I podcast. This whole table is just a complete mess. I have things all over it. So it's kind of hard to see after a while. Yes, so I have 2 skeins of yarn already picked out for this pattern. One is the lovely Manos del Uruguay, which I got as a gift when I met up with Jorge Locatelli last year when she came to Sydney. This is the Allegria base. It's a Superwash merino, and I think it's nylon in the Leo colorway. It's looking quite red, but it's actually a really deep, rich caramel. It's stunning. I love it. So I chose the contrasting color, which is one of our yarns, Beach Shack, and again it's variegated, so into the variegateds at the moment. It's a purple, so it contrasts perfectly with the caramel color. And I think these are going to look great in brioche. They'll stand out because obviously you can knit brioche in similar colours, but you won't get that nice effect of the back and the front. But I think you will with these. So I can't wait to cast that on. And with 5 days off, I should be able to cast both the cardigan and the shawl on, hopefully. So yeah, I think that was all I was going to say. Yeah, in other news, I have been sewing. So I just all of a sudden got this urge to take out the sewing machine and start sewing. Before I started knitting, I was really into sewing. I did a lot of it. I was actually getting to the point where I'd say I was probably intermediate. I was getting lots of Japanese sewing patterns and sewing them up, and I'd make dresses and shirts and all sorts of things. And I bought a new sewing machine, which is a Janome. That was years ago. So, well, over 10 years ago, because I started knitting about 10 years ago. And then, of course, I started knitting, and the sewing was put to the side, and I've sort of done a little bit now and again. I started a patchwork quilt, which is just a very simple square, like not an intricate patchwork, but just simple squares sewn together with a backing. And I'm actually in the process of quilting the top, just a very simple back and forward stitch. But yeah, that's taken a long time to finish. But yeah, I just all of a sudden just hit me that I wanted to sew something. Anyway, I went online and started looking up some sewing patterns, and I came across this Australian store called Indie Stitches, and I'll put a link in the show notes. And it's full of indie designed sewing patterns, and I could just buy thousands of them. But anyway, I chose like really simple ones because, like I said, I haven't sewn for, I don't know, a long time. Not a garment anyway, for about 10 years. So I wanted just to start with something really basic. And so I chose 3 different beginner patterns. I chose the Lark Tee, which is this one, from Grainline Studios. And the great thing about this is there's 4 different necklines and 4 different sleeve lengths. I also selected a Tilly and the Buttons pattern, which is called Bettine, and it's a cute little dress with an elastic waist, so it's really easy. There's no zippers or anything, just elastic, so nice and easy. And then the third pattern is a little bit more complicated. It's the Moneta dress by Collinette. So yeah, I did actually start with last week. I cut out the pattern and started sewing a t-shirt. I chose this one, the boat neck, but I'm doing a short sleeve version. And it's knit with jersey fabric. So if you're a beginner, jersey fabric or knit fabric is actually, it's not the easiest thing to start with, because you've got to be careful when you're sewing that you don't stretch the fabric, because it'll put it all out of shape. Luckily my machine has a straight stretch stitch, so it makes sewing jersey very easy. But anyway, I went to Spotlight to have a look at their fabric, and I must say the Spotlight here in Coffs Harbour is very good. So Spotlight is, I can't remember the name that the US has, but it's just a big kind of department store full of yarn and fabric and crafty things. I think they have scrapbooking, and you can also get pillows and sheets and towels and blinds. So it's full of lots of stuff. Anyway, I went and had a look at their fabric section, and I was really surprised by what they had. They had lots of really nice, cute fabrics and a ton of jersey. So I bought, just to begin with, I bought 2 meters of jersey, and this is it here. Oh, sort of blowing out. It's a cute little whale pattern. So I've done the body. I've sewn it all together, except I've just got to finish it off. I've got to do the neck, and I've got to hem it and finish the sleeves, and then I'm done. And yeah, I've tried it on, and it fits really nicely. I'm so happy with it. I am actually going to go and buy some more jersey fabric this week, like tomorrow probably, and sew up a few more, because I really like them. So yeah, that's been fun. The next thing I have, I didn't bring the fabric down, but I'll show you next time. But I'm going to do the Bettine pattern next, so I've got everything for it. This one does have pockets, but I don't really want to go there just yet, so I'm going to just knit this one here without the pockets. Let's go on to In the Mail. I received the Tilly and the Buttons book. So it's Tilly Walnes, W-A-L-N-E-S, and she brought out this book called Love at First Stitch, and it's basically a beginner's guide to sewing. So what she has in here is lots of really good information about starting to sew, like cutting out patterns and like simple modifications with patterns. But she takes you through step by step, and there are quite a few patterns that come with the book. So you have a sleeve at the back, and the patterns are put in the sleeve. But here is what parts in there. So you start off with a headscarf. If you've never sewn before, she takes you through how to do a headscarf, which is just basically straight stitching. And then she goes into pajama pants and then modifies it with a pocket if you're feeling game. There's a Delphine skirt, and then she takes you through a few variations of that. The Megan dress, which is something that I'm really keen to try, which is a very simple A-lined short sleeve dress. And then of course she's got other variations that you can do with a little placard up the top. Yeah, different kind of hem variation. Then she has Clement's skirt, which is another one that I'm really keen on making. And again, all these patterns come with variations, so you can sew them many different ways. Yeah, it's a great book, really nicely laid out. It's visually really appealing, the way that she's had the book set out, graphic design wise. Great instructions and photos, and of course each chapter takes you through each pattern. So she takes you by the hand and shows you exactly how to sew each pattern. So if you're into sewing, or if you're a beginner and you're thinking about starting to sew, I would highly recommend this. It's a great little book. Yeah, so the other thing I got in the mail was a couple of skeins of yarns. We're back to knitting again. I saw on Instagram a post, or I follow her anyway, Republic of Wool, and who is Michelle, and I saw her post that she had an update. So I went onto her shop and I was taken by this gorgeous colourway. So this is her twist fingering. It's a merino nylon mix. And this is the morph colourway, and it's just stunning. So again, speckled and variegated and lots of lovely colour. Anyway, after I bought this and it was headed my way, I noticed on her Instagram page that she started saying that she has been unwell, and so she's got issues with her eyes. I think it's like a glaucoma type problem with she has cysts as well that is pushing on her eyes. Anyway, if you can read about it in her Instagram. So she's been unwell, and with the American health system as it is, it's quite stressful as to the cost of treatment, etc. So yeah, she's been going through a really hard time, so I'm sending her lots of good vibes. But she has had quite a few updates, so if you'd like to go and buy a skein or two from her, that'd be great, because it's going to help her out with her medical expenses. But yeah, I don't think you need any encouragement. I mean, her yarns are stunning, her colourways are stunning. So yeah, they came about a week ago. And I also got in the mail yesterday my copy of Instagram, Interweave Knits. So I haven't looked at this yet, but this just came. I'll be reading that probably this afternoon with a cup of tea. I have been subscribing to Interweave Knits for years and years and years, and I have so many copies of these magazines, which I lug around every time we move. Kind of like my husband's record collection, which, let's not go there. He doesn't let the removalist touch his records because he's got quite a few rare vinyl copies, so we have to move, and he's got more than that. Like, that's just the tip of the iceberg. So yes, and it's kind of the same with me, although I don't care, the removalist can take my magazines because they're really heavy. Anyway, I've decided that after my subscription with Interweave Knits finishes, I'm going to subscribe again but get the digital copy. And I'm thinking, because you can buy back copies of the digital copies as well, so I'm thinking I might do that, and then maybe keep a few of my favourites, because I have the older Interweave Knits I absolutely love. I don't know what it is about them, but maybe it's kind of it reminds me of when I started knitting. I don't know, but I might keep a few, but then maybe sell off some or see if the local knitters want to take some. Anyway, I'll figure that out. But yeah, I think it's time to go digital. So yeah, anyway, Interweave Knits came, and that's pretty much it, I think. That was all that I got in the post. So basically, yeah, like I said, this weekend's a long weekend. So I've got we took extra 2 days off, so we've got 5 days off in total. So I'm going to have a great time. I'm going to sew. I'm going to get into my garden, which I took a little bit of footage out in my garden, which I'll insert at some point. Yeah, I have, it's a very small little courtyard, but it's just perfect. It's the perfect size for me because we are quite busy. So I can still have a nice garden, but it's not too much to manage. I have a mix of edible plants and showy plants. So I have a blueberry plant, which blueberries grow really well in Coffs Harbour. In fact, Coffs Harbour used to be the place where you would buy bananas. It's got a interesting climate because it's we are subtropical, but I'm not sure. It's like the way that the land is positioned. Maybe it's because we're at the very end of the Great Dividing Range. It sort of has a microclimate which supports banana growing and also blueberries. And blueberries have taken over the bananas. A lot of banana growers have moved on to blueberries. So anyway, I've got a blueberry plant and it's doing very well. In fact, it's got flowers on it at the moment, and hopefully we will have blueberries soon. It's sort of flowered late. It should really be losing its leaves, but anyway, it's doing what it's doing. I also have a lemon tree. I have lots of herbs. What else? I'm going to put in a mandarin tree. And I've also got olives growing, which olive trees are usually better in cold climates, but I got this particular species from our local nursery, and they're from Brisbane, and they actually grew in Brisbane on a penal colony on an island off Brisbane, which is quite interesting. So they're sort of built for warm climates. So yeah, I'm going to get into the garden, and it needs a bit of weeding and just a little tidy up, and I'm going to go to Bunnings and buy some plants and have a really nice time out there. And of course I'm going to be doing lots and lots of knitting. So yeah, oh, and the other big news is since I've been off sick and having a crappy time, my lovely husband and I have decided that we need a little break, and we've booked a trip to Greece. We actually went to Greece a very long time ago, 15 years ago, and loved it. Yeah, and have always wanted to go back. So initially we were going to book a trip to go to Greece, Sicily and Malta. We've been to Sicily and Greece before, but not Malta. But in the end, we just decided that we wanted to do the Greek Odyssey, and so we're going in the end of April, taking all of, no, not April, August, end of August, yes, September, all of September we're taking off, and then we're coming back the second week of October, so we'll be gone for quite some time, and of course the studio will be shutting down, so we're just can't wait. We're in planning mode. I've got all the Lonely Planets. We plan to go to the Peloponnese and the Mani area of Greece, which is the very southern tip of the Peloponnese. Of course, we're going to stay in Athens for a night or two. And then we're going to go to some Ionian islands, which is Kefalonia, and there was another one, but I can't think. And then we're going to island hop our way down to Crete and stay in Crete for 2 weeks, and then we're going to head back home. So we can't wait. Anyway, this feels like it's been a long episode. Hope you're all well, and It's been lovely to speak to you, and I must say it's so nice that you guys tune in and watch this podcast. I really, really appreciate it. I love hearing from you guys and your comments. It means a lot. And yeah, hope you're all well and have a lovely time knitting. And if you're in Australia, have a lovely long weekend. And I will talk to you in 2 weeks time. See you then. Bye.